So
Mhm.
how did TFT start? And we've asked a couple people this who've worked on the game.
Mhm.
So I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, so I think it was like January, might have been December, January, December, somewhere in there. Dota Auto Chess was out. A bunch of people were discovering it and playing it and loving it. But it obviously had a bunch of flaws. The UI was garbage. There was no matchmaking other than random, so like you couldn't actually like climb ladders, anything like that. I think people had made that. I forget the name of it, but that custom tool that there was a small group of people using. But
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah, yeah. But everyone was having fun with it, and so I think Medler and a couple other people saw an opportunity and were like, "Hey, can we do our version of this? Can we do it better? Can we do it fast?" Um, and so they saw an opportunity and decided to pursue it. And I remember I wasn't on the team at the time, but they were like, "Hey, you should start paying attention to this game." So I put about like 100, hours into auto chess.
Mm.
And I'll always remember my first reaction to Medler because I told him, I'm like, this game seems fun, but it also seems really easy to solve.
Mm.
Uh, so we'll see. And one of the things that Auto Chess was doing was like smaller balance patches here and there that kept things interesting.
Mhm.
But yeah, so then the team started working on it, putting it together. I was actually on a separate project at the time. Um, and so yeah, they started in like February and they finished, I think it went to PBE June 12th. It's been about a year now, actually. So they've worked real fast, real hard, real great.
Yep.
Um, the game, so it came out June 26th. I joined the team June 1st. So right before they went
Okay.
live. And that's when I took over as the lead designer, which was interesting because, there were a bunch of decisions made that it was like, oh, okay, I see why you might have done that, but is that right? And like other decisions that were like, wow, this is great. And I see what we have here. And so, um, but yeah, and so for me though, it was also like, hey, the TFT team I wasn't on originally, but I'm being given this opportunity. I really have to prove myself, which was another one of those things that's making me feel like I have to give 200%. It's like, do I really deserve to be this game's lead designer? I didn't come up with it. So,
Yeah. Man, Dota Auto Chess was a real enigma. It was pretty much it came out of nowhere.
mhm.
There's games before that used similar
Pencils.
mechanics, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
like the Pokemon
Yep.
uh Dota 1 or sorry, the Warcraft 3
Warcraft 3
mod.
mod. Yep.
Yeah. But that was so long ago. So yeah, it was really cool to
Mhm.
see the resurgence and it caught me pretty early. I had chess fever. So when I heard
Mhm.
TFT was coming, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I was like really excited for it. I didn't know that you joined so well late in the dev cycle.
Yep.
That's interesting. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Originally, there was a different lead designer, and the team worked on it really hard. Credit to that lead designer, for example. They're the ones that came up with hexes as opposed to a
Mm.
chessboard.
mhm.
Okay.
Uh, you know, um, but yeah, and right about the end of the project, they decided that he was going to go back to R&D, so moved back on and needed someone to be the lead designer. And again, I had put the time in and knew about the project, so they asked me to ramp up pretty quickly.
Do you
Well, I don't
have
want to.
oh, go ahead.
I was like, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to make you feel like I'm giving you a false compliment in this. So just prefacing it that it is very genuine. The idea of evaluating where a team started from and then where it is now and the difference, like to see the changes that TFT has gone through with you coming on board, right? Like it's just gotten better, and I think that's the mark of a really good lead, is to be able to continue growth and not hamper it. So, uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna self-deprecate for a second here. One of the things I think that's interesting is for the first time in my entire career, I'm working on a game that's kind of a new genre, really. Like, we don't know much about the auto battler genre. Like, it really wasn't a genre. And so there's a lot of unanswered questions, right? Like, is this game going to be fun a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What does it take for it to stay fun? Do we have to keep doing these sets? Is there something else we're not seeing? And to be honest, we haven't been perfect along the way. Rise of the Elements, for example, we screwed up a lot of stuff in that. We had kind of a rough theme that wasn't very exciting. We were like, hey, summoners would be cool. And then we filled the board and made things unreadable. We didn't have a lot of satisfying spells.
Yeah.
You know, we like toned down all the spells and the game felt boring. But as long as you make, and again, this goes back to what I said all the way at the beginning, where it's like, go make games and go make mistakes. The advantage of a live service game is we can make those mistakes, learn from them, and make the game better. And Galaxies was sort of like our, oh, okay, here's all the crap that doesn't work. Here's all the crap that does work, you know? And so it's like, yeah. So again, we haven't been perfect, but part of being a good designer is learning, adapting, and doing it better.
So before we get too far away
being
from
a good person in general.
That's true. If you aren't learning from your mistakes, then you're just gonna doom to